and you can tell that there's something not quite right, and it's this connected piece. But that then stems to, is the team actually happy? Are the clients and other stakeholders happy? And when you've got this true collaboration, interconnectedness, team effectiveness piece happening, you've got very happy stakeholders, very happy people internally, and you can really feel this buzz is happening. When it's not, you can also feel it. Definitely. And you can see it.
Welcome to Saul Searching, the Saul Recruitment podcast, where we tackle all sorts of great topics in the areas of recruitment, job searching, mindset, technology, marketing, culture, and lots more. It's amazing what you'll pick up. Thanks for joining me. Well, welcome back, everyone. Another fantastic episode of Saul Searching, the Saul Recruitment podcast. We're here live in the studio today, no more Zoom, with the amazing Paul Slezak. How you doing, mate?
Very good. Good to be in a real studio with you.
Absolutely. We're going to have some fun
Taking
today.
it up a notch.
You bet. We're getting serious now. Now, it's episode 66, and the topic is the collaboration code, how interconnected teams outperform the rest. And this is a topic that Paul's very passionate about, so he's going to share some amazing insights and knowledge, and something that I'm very interested in as well. But just in case you haven't heard Paul before or haven't listened to the previous podcast, Paul Slezak transforms leaders and teams to create real impact in the workplace. He's a powerhouse facilitator, leadership coach, and human capital strategist with a global lens. From leading recruitment firms to building his own business, with 30 plus years experience across Australia, the US, APAC and EMEA, he's seen it all and thrived. He blends hard business skills with a passion for soft skills that spark trust and collaboration. Paul's style is authentic, energizing, and packed with real-world wisdom and a little bit of humour along the way. He's a master at edutaining, engaging heads and hearts in equal measure. Whether in a boardroom, training room, or Zoom room, Paul connects with impact and vulnerability. He's also a trusted advisor to boards, startups, and scale-ups, shaping future-fit teams. When Paul speaks, people listen, and more importantly, they take action. And that's what it's all about today, action. So Paul, great to have you on the show. We're recording. We've got rid of all our technical glitches. It's all good. I'd love to hear more about why you're so passionate about this particular topic.
I think it goes back a long way. You and I both started a long time ago in the recruitment world, and often candidates would say to me, if I'd ask them why they're looking to leave or what they're looking to move towards, they'd say, where I am now, it's just dysfunctional. The team is not connected.
Right.
Or if they were looking for something different, I just want a team that's more cohesive, where there's more collaboration. So that was the recruitment world a long, long time ago. And myself, having been in many teams in the recruitment world and have led teams, some have been clearly well connected, collaborative, some haven't. And as the recruiter hat, I would always say that the people fuel the business. And when you have a collaborative team, you'll skyrocket. And if the team isn't collaborating or isn't connected, there's a problem. So I'm not looking at it from the recruitment lens anymore. I'm looking at it from my role now as a coach, as a team coach, as a leadership coach. And I have a lot of clients who I might start working with them one-on-one in a CEO role or a leadership role. And not long into the partnership, they'll go, I think you might need to look at the team. Mm-hmm. There's something not quite right with the team. And it always stems to this connected piece. And I think your topic, the collaboration code, is great because it is a bit of a mystical thing. It's like the Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
We're on a bit of a quest to...
It's a bit metaphysical.
It is. And there are solutions to it. And there are ways to go about really forming this interconnectedness and this collaborative leadership piece, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about
Absolutely.
today.
And it's amazing that some companies clearly have broken the code or have cracked the code, and some companies just have not. And from a recruiter point of view, we're both recruiters.
Absolutely.
You've done a lot of work in the recruitment industry. I hear this all day long. Every candidate nearly that I speak to, there's an issue with management, culture, something's not working and something's not aligned. That's why we're coming into these problems.
Yeah, I think the alignment, the culture piece, that's all behind it, definitely. There are differences between sort of social teams and like forcing this collaboration versus when there's this true interconnectedness. But we'll unpack all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot underneath it.
But I'd love to start off wide. And is there a definition or of some kind that you've put together for team effectiveness? What does it actually mean?
So there's two parts to this answer. The first is, before I really started looking into this properly, to me it was when there was trust within a team, when you could really see it humming. I mean, I've been in teams that I've thought were amazingly collaborative. I've led teams that were brilliant, but I've also led teams that weren't collaborating. And you can tell that there's something not quite right, and it's this connected piece. But that then stems to, is the team actually happy? Are the clients and other stakeholders happy? And when you've got this true collaboration, interconnectedness, team effectiveness piece happening, you've got very happy stakeholders, very happy people internally, and you can really feel this buzz is happening. When it's not, you can also feel it and you can see it.
I mean, I always say culture is more about how it feels than how it looks.
Yeah.
Like you can feel that
it.
a culture is thriving, and you can feel that it's not working, something's not right.
Yeah. And when we used to get briefed, we need someone who's going to fit this culture.
Yeah.
Well, that just means they're going to fit into this interconnected piece well, and they're going to form part of the effective team, not just the banter or the culture that is quite superficial.
Yeah.
You've got to cut beneath that.
And that concept of culture has also evolved over the years. I mean, we've been talking about culture for decades. How has that changed?
Well, the obvious one is it's changed now with hybrid and remote. Right. How do you create the culture despite the separation? How do you form collaboration despite the distance and the separation? Yeah. And the leader can't force it. The team makes this happen. Mm-hmm. It's a systemic evolution where to have a truly effective team, it's not up to the leader to go, you must be effective and you must collaborate. Yeah. The group has to believe that. Yeah. The group's got to feel it.
Love it. And to your point, it can't be forced. It has to be organic, and it's driven from the top, isn't it?
It's fostered from the top, but it can't be forced from the top.
Exactly,
Yeah, the leader can't come in and say, I now need you to collaborate.
Yes.
The group needs to believe, what does that mean? And coming back to your earlier point of why am I so interested in this now, last year I really got into it and became a master accredited practitioner in what's known as the 6 conditions of team effectiveness. Nice. And there's a diagnostic tool behind it, and there's a framework that I'm happy to share a lot of that with you today. Okay. But that really put the spotlight for me on what is underneath this. What does it really mean to have teamness or collaborative leadership or this whole effective piece that's not just the cultural, social piece. Yes. It's not, does the team get along?
Yeah, it's not ping pong tables or drinks on
or
Friday
pizza
night.
on Friday night.
Whatever.
It's is there true collaboration?
Yeah. And it's actually, second to this point, I listen to a lot of Alex Hormozy, fantastic entrepreneur, and he's got a great podcast and great content. And he always says he's big on behaviors, not concepts, or he won't just say to a team member, you're not performing well from a cultural point of view, fix it. Because what does that mean? Nobody knows what to do. You have to show people behaviors. You have to show people what they're doing wrong and how can they actually behave to make it right.
And yes, but not just that individual. The team needs to demonstrate a behavior of collaboration.
Yeah.
The team needs to have this compelling purpose and are the right people in the right jobs with a North Star or a vision that they're all gunning towards. I worked with an absolute leader in the recruitment world for many, many years, and he used to say, well, are we all aboard the northbound train? Yeah. That's part of, like, have we got this purpose that we're gunning towards? And if people can't articulate that collective or compelling purpose, well, there won't be the effectiveness then. If everyone's in silos or individual pods, it's not going to work.
Yeah. What was that book? Is the right person on the bus or the right seat on the bus? I forgot the name of the book. Very famous book. From Good to Great.
It is that. Yeah. It's, are we all doing this for the right reason and for the same reason?
Yeah. Do any companies come to mind that really shine from this point of view?
A lot of them are trying. I was at a conference last year, and it's very clear that Microsoft is thriving in this team effectiveness space at the moment globally.
Okay, wow.
Hewlett-Packard is also thriving in this globally,
Interesting.
as is Deloitte. But they're the big guns. But underneath the enterprises, there are many, many companies now realizing, especially with the hybrid or the remote or the distributed, whichever phrase is applicable, that yes, the culture piece is key, but then there's that trust in collaboration as well. Do I know what you're doing? Do I believe what you're doing? Do you trust what I'm doing?
Yes.
And then we can move forward. If I'm fighting for me and you're fighting for you, the results might be there, but the connectedness isn't.
There's no collaboration.
No collaboration.
Yeah. And you're not really going to go the extra mile to do something
There's
for
no
me
need to.
because
Correct.
why bother?
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay over the weekend and help you out. Why?
Yeah. I don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Interesting. What about companies like Apple or McDonald's, or do they, from a consumer point of view, do they fit the mold?
From the perspective of the customer looking in, you can see when it's humming and you can see when there's a bit of argument or tension behind the scenes. As a customer in a retail environment, you can watch it. As a stakeholder within an organization that might be more of a solutions provider or a software SaaS company, you can sense when you actually walk into the environment, if there is a physical one, is this working?
Yep.
If not, what's wrong? And it's, again, a gut feel. As a coach, if I walk in, and no offense to any librarians listening, but if it feels like a library and there isn't that true communication across areas, and it's very, I'm over here and you're over here, and there's like an edge between us, it's not good.
Well, that's actually a really good point, because I've been listening to a lot of other people as well, and even reading some comments and posts on LinkedIn, and they say, even from a recruitment point of view, in the old days, a recruitment agency was loud. There were people on the
like a
phones.
trading floor.
It was mad.
Stock
It was like
market.
exactly. It's like a stock market trading floor. Now it's quiet. Everybody's a keyboard warrior, and they're still creating incredible results. But it's very different. It's quiet. Everybody's almost in silos on their own.
That's what I said. If they're creating their own results, that's excellent. Right. But for themselves. But is the team accomplishing? Is the team getting to where it really could get to as a system, as a whole true, not a team in name only, but a real team.
Like a sports team. It comes to mind with sports team or a relay team or a soccer team, or because you are as strong as your weakest link.
Where they look at performance of the team, the success of the team, what worked today in the team.
Yes.
Not other numbers there because we've got a huge big biller in the recruitment world or a top sales performer. But how did the team actually get?
That's right. And that brings up another great point of when people are always talking about what happens if there's one top performer but they're toxic.
Yep.
What do you do? But anyway,
that's a topic for another podcast.
that's another whole, that's part two. But I'd love to break that down a bit more. So what would be one or a few things that would be important for people to assess or put in place to make sure they're starting this journey?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is that, can the group articulate the compelling purpose? Not, do you say we're here for one thing, I say we're here for another reason. It's vaguely overlapping but not quite right. Is it really there? Is it authentic? Is it believable? Is it realistic that we are all striving for the same thing? And if we're not, what is the competing commitment? What's actually blocking us as a collective from doing that? Is it, well, I don't care about you, or I'm in this for myself, or I get paid to do what I do very well. Don't really worry about what you're doing. Do I even know what you're doing? And so that whole purpose piece, whether it's a vision or a
mission,
or a speaking with one voice, whatever it actually is, are we doing that?
Yeah.
Can we all articulate what we do this because this is how we do it and the impact it has on the organisation, on the customer, on the stakeholder? Can we all say the same thing, and do we believe it?
That's the big one.
Yeah. Do we trust it? Do we believe it?
Because it happens very often that people go on their retreat, their conference, and they spend a day with a whiteboard, with a facilitator, and they come up with this beautiful slogan for their mission and their vision, and they write it down on beautiful texters on the beautiful sheets of paper, and then nobody looks at it, nobody cares, and nobody even remembers
The whiteboard or the butcher paper doesn't even come back to the office. I'm only smiling because I've just run one of
There
those.
you go.
And there was a lot of texters and a lot of butcher paper.
And everybody's excited, and then tomorrow, Monday morning, gone.
Yeah. But in the instance that I'm thinking of now, I will be following up with them. And how are they taking that purpose forward? What are they doing?
And even, I suppose, being a bit more simplified in that process, because years ago they had, I'm still confused these days, what's the difference between a vision and a mission and a this and a that? Like, just need one good slogan that everybody can understand and get behind, and that's good enough.
And this is different to the employer branding statement. It's different to the public messaging. It's just, what are we doing this for?
Yeah. What's the
And
point?
what's this team?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the whole organization. What is this leadership team doing it for? What is this sales team doing it for?
Yeah.
What is this product team doing it for?
Yep.
As long as they, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 people can articulate that same thing and mean it.
Yeah. And they know that they get up in the morning, they come to work, and if it's a sales team, they're there to just drive results. They want sales results. Or if it's a specking or analytical team, they're there to provide some kind of opportunities to the project team or whatever it is.
But not, I'm doing this, we are doing this.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It's a big we thing.
It's a big one. Any others
Trust.
that can help fuel this?
Aside from that collective purpose, it's also engendering the true trust in a team. Like, what does that actually mean? Are you trusting me for who I am and what I'm doing? Do I trust what you're doing? I've worked in teams where there was none of that. And like back in the recruitment day, people would sneak into the office and look in other consultants' filing cabinets and look for resumes and claim it. There was, like, now it's just done like sabotaging, looking on different databases. But the trust piece of, you acknowledge what I'm doing, you trust what I'm doing. We might have different thoughts and opinions, but the trust is there in why we're here together. It's not, the leader can't run this herself or himself. They can suggest it, but if the team doesn't believe it, it won't work. And that's why some teams can't become effective, because they haven't got the right people doing the right things with this purpose, or the organisation isn't supporting them for doing that. They might claim they do it, but they're not engendering it. They're not really promoting it across the...
And so I'm hearing really that one word, trust, 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 trust. And all this stuff sounds great, but how do we build the trust?
That's not the we as the leader, it's the we as the group. And part of the work that I do with the team diagnostic survey, which is the diagnostic tool from 6 team conditions, really looks at, where is that disconnect? Is it a loss of the credibility? Is it a loss of the reliability? Is someone not being transparent, or they feel holistically it's not? And the group needs to work on that. What does that real trust piece mean for the organisation or for this 12 people?
Yeah.
And then we look at, okay, if I'm saying I'm going to trust the group, what am I doing that's going directly against that behaviour? Yeah. What is the group doing that's not fostering this trust piece?
Yep.
And whether it's an external like myself, an external coach, or one of the foundational elements to the 6 team conditions is team coaching and peer-to-peer encouragement for this. If the team doesn't support itself, it's not going to change.
Yep. But the thing is with trust is something that has to be built over time. You can't just say, all right, you're new to the team, we trust each other.
Correct.
So how does that happen? And what's the best way to encourage that?
Yeah, and I think that I have a post-it on my desk, and it says, trust is built on foot and flees in a Ferrari. So it takes a long time to build it, but it can be broken
Big time.
like that. And that's what this piece is about, where just because it's a team, it doesn't mean there's collaboration and trust.
For sure.
I've worked in teams and led teams where people got along brilliantly, but they weren't collaborating. Yeah. And I've worked in and led teams where the social side wasn't crash hot, but they really synced. Yeah. And they had built that trust over time. They supported each other. They believed that each other's strengths were being utilised. If there were superpowers that people held, they shared them. They didn't keep that superpower to me. And once those superpowers and those sort of subject matter expertise areas are out there, I can go to you if I know you can help me, and I won't expect to have to give anything back straight away. You can come to me and I'm not going, why are you asking me this? But you're right, that takes time. So this transformation isn't from like one Monday meeting to the next. I work with teams where we'd run the survey again 6 months later and there's a nice little change. But then at the 12-month mark, whoa, it's really working.
And what's going through my head now is it's almost this 360-degree interconnected circle where trust builds culture and culture builds trust. And it just keeps on building on itself.
And collaboration builds trust as well. It cannot be competitive. It can't be siloed. It has to be collaborative. The group must collaborate, but truly collaborate. Not go out and not meet on the Friday and come in where everyone's in day is Friday because the pizza comes out at 4. It's truly collaborate. And it's not as easy remotely or hybrid than it would be co-located where it's just osmosis. We sit next to each other every day. We're probably going to collaborate more. It's harder when someone chooses not to put their camera on a Zoom or Teams call. It's harder when someone says, well, my day is Wednesday and your day is Thursday. We won't see each other till the Christmas party.
We'll be on Slack.
See you on Slack or Teams me or something.
Or WhatsApp or whatever. I agree. And I'm going to get to that point in a second because I think that's a really interesting side topic in itself. But what I'm also wanted to touch on is where does recruitment fit into this? Like, you got to find the right people in the first place.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's all over.
We're used to people saying to us, the employers saying to us, find someone who fits the culture or that you know what we're all about. Just find us someone who'll fit in here. Now, when you see the results of these team effectiveness surveys or the TDS, the team diagnostic, you can see what the team is lacking. And so in the recruitment process, you can be asking around scenarios they've been in where that's been happening. How did they collaborate? How did they show teamness? What sort of collaborative leadership have they been part of? And so the questioning goes very much down this route, very specifically around this whole trust piece, the collaboration piece, the teamness or team effectiveness piece, the interconnectedness piece. And that's when you're looking at the behaviours.
And there must be more and more tools now and analytics and whatnot to help you drive and really understand that. You've got the Myers-Briggs and you've got DISC, but there must be way more now.
And they're still, I often get asked this, why would we run this team diagnostic survey when we run, whether it's a Myers-Briggs or we run these personality tests? They are still essential for the individual to look at what is someone's personality or what is their profile. That's still essential. But when we now look at the team as a collective, we're looking at the whole unit. We're looking at the 10, 12, 15 people together and what sort of person is going to work in that space and what sort of person might make that a bit fractured. And so the recruiter or the internal talent acquisition specialist has to be asking questions around those behaviours, not just the typical behaviours, but are they going to fit this team? Because this team right now is effective and you're going to come in and it's going to stay effective, or are you going to break it?
Two things come to mind. First one is obviously you have to do profiling on the person as well as the person fitting the team. So it's like a double profiling now. And the second point is, doesn't this slow down the process?
No. Well, you think it slows it down at the front end, but it will save it in the back end. If you don't look at the effectiveness piece and then the people come in, the team grows, but then it's disconnected or it's forced. The
More energy, more money.
Correct. I mean, the stakeholders will feel it. The team will not be as motivated. The results won't be there eventually.
And you've got to do it all again and waste more money and be back where you started 2 years later.
Each time a new number of people come in, you do a team reset and recalibrate where this effectiveness is and how it's going to work, including the new people. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But it can't just be, we've got a ENTP joining us and the managers are an INFJ. Is that going to work? Maybe between the two of them that will or won't work. But it's not that. It's this person is going to be part of the effective team.
Yes.
And the team will welcome them, trust them, collaborate with them, and build that dynamic. So the team collectively grows.
Yes. Do you recommend that the team gets involved in the recruitment process?
The team obviously takes part in this diagnostic, and then when the results come out and you look at them collectively, the team is shown those so they know what is and what isn't working. And so they use those findings when the new people come in. You can't have the entire team meeting every single new candidate. It just
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And if you add a 8th, 9th and 10th stage to the process, the most sought after candidate will go to the faster process.
Yeah.
But they're involved in this by being part of this collective, compelling purpose piece and being able to articulate that to the new starters and showing that they all truly display the traits of the collective unit.
And that's self-perpetuating and self-fulfilling as well for the rest of the team.
Yes.
Because they keep drumming into themselves, that's what we're about.
Yeah, and it's not the boss saying that's what we're about, or the leader saying we must be. It's the group saying that's what we're about.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear more about this diagnostic tool before we jump further.
So it's a survey that takes about 20 or 25 minutes to complete. So if I'm working with a team and there's 12 people in it, everyone will complete the survey.
Right.
And once the last person has completed it, the results come through unpacking what are known as the 6 team conditions. And there are 3 essential conditions and 3 enabling or underpinning conditions. And it looks at the first 3, which are, is it a real team? Are the right people in the team? And do they have a compelling purpose? And underpinning that, the 3 enabling conditions are, is the work structured so that people's strengths are played to? Does the organisation support the idea of collaboration? And is there an opportunity for peer coaching? So not an external coach coming in or not someone from HR coaching, but is the culture such that if we're colleagues, we can coach each other? And when all of that happens, when those 3 essentials and 3 enabling conditions are working together, the research and the 6 team conditions framework comes out of Harvard many years ago by a now late researcher and professor called Richard Hackman. And he showed that when all this is happening, there's an 80% chance that your team will be effective. It's not 100, but there's an 80% chance that your team will be effective. And the report, which is 25 to 30 pages, depending on the number of participants, unpacks this and shows how you stack up against each of these areas: purpose, peer coaching, right people doing right things, diversity of thought within the group, diversity of opinion within the group. And it's very beautifully colour-coded. It's green, orange or red. Nice. When you see green or any shade of green, the organisation or the team is doing beautifully.
It's humming.
When there's yellow to orange, there are little levers you can pull. But when there's dark orange to red, it's like something is not right here.
Right.
And often, unfortunately, the leader or even the team members will be in denial about that.
Right.
But when it's shown, that's when we can step in and say, what are we going to do about this part of the issue? And that's what you can then see improving over a 6 or 12-month period.
And you can actually pinpoint exactly what's not working.
Correct. Yeah. And it's quite jarring when the group looks at it, they go, oh. And then you do an activity about it and it shows, well, where is the disconnect? Where is the conflict? Yeah. We'll come to conflict later because it's a good thing. Yeah. But where is the disconnect and not the interconnect? Yeah.
Fascinating. And is it expensive?
No, considering what it offers. The price in US dollars for the tool is $550. So that's our exchange rate is tanking at the moment, so it's about $25,000. No, it's not. It's about 900 Australian dollars, and it's just for the survey. It's not. It doesn't matter how many people are doing it. It's not per person.
That's fine.
And the results are very, very eye-opening. Wow. For the leader first, I will always debrief with the leader because you don't want to put the results up in front of a group and everyone's going, what's going here? And we will then work with the leader. What do we want to show the group? Do we want to show them everything? Do we want to show them the parts that are doing beautifully as well as the stuff that, yes, and then, well, are we going to do a 2-hour deep dive into this? Are we going to do an exercise at an offsite or a retreat that's purely based on the effectiveness case? What exercises are going to help shift this as quickly as possible?
Thanks again for joining me for another episode of Saul Searching, the Saul Recruitment Podcast. If you'd like to join me as a guest on the show, I would be delighted to collaborate. Feel free to buzz me on 0414 659 800 or email me on darren@saulrecruitment.com.au. I'm always on the lookout for great guests who can share their stories and expertise with my community. But for now, though, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.